Hi, my name is Jay Yoza. I coach people so they can deliver good to great performance when they're speaking every time. I want to talk about a technique that I picked up from my teenage son regarding time. Whenever I want him to do something, he never gives me the time on the top of the hour or the quarter or the half. It's always something like if I ask him, when are you going to do your homework? He'll never say, oh, at 5 o'clock. He'll say, at 5:07. And it just like ticks me off, like 5:07? Who gives time like that? And I never really paid much attention to that. I don't even know why he does that. It's just one of those things I've just learned to accept it now. Like if I'm using his, when we have a computer, a desktop, and I ask him, so when do you need to use it for your homework? He'll say, how about 7:03? Now, I have no idea why he comes up with 7:03. He has some reason I have stopped even asking. All right. So I never really thought much about it. Just one of those things, teenage thing, phase thing. I just like ignored it after a while. There's no point even asking. So recently, one of my friend called up and said he's been having difficulty with job interviews, phone interviews, and he said, Jay, every time I'm on the phone, I always get the feeling like that the person that I'm talking to has not even read my resume. So I thought, okay, most time people don't read the resume. He kind of gave me the indication they're kind of reading it while they're talking to him. So I basically took the idea from my son and I said, why don't you try this and see how it works? When they schedule an appointment, a phone appointment, like let's say if it's at 10 o'clock or something like that, 10:30, you give a buffer of about 7 minutes and say, I would like to do the call at 10:07. And initially it was like, Jay, come on, you're crazy. They're gonna think I'm some weird. I said, not weird, you're different, definitely. But this way, let's say the previous appointment ended at 10, if they are that sharp. A lot of times I think these people are just lazy. But let's assume that they have a busy schedule. If you say 10:07, that means they have 7 minutes to look at your resume. And if they're not looking at your resume in those 7 minutes, that means you shouldn't even waste your time doing an interview. You've now given them 7 minutes. There's no excuse for, because nobody gives time like this, right? They have 7 minutes for sure that they can look at your resume. And in those 7 minutes, if they cannot come up with good question, then you know that they did not really use that time to even look at your resume. There are no excuses. So he tried it and he's had good experience with this. I'm going to start doing this because I think for two reasons. One is that nobody does that. Everybody always gives the number like, I'll meet you at 10:30 or I'll meet you at 10 or 10:15. Give an odd number because these numbers don't mean anything. And when it's odd, they'll think like, oh, he has a real tight schedule. But at the same time, you want to come across as different. When you're interviewing for a job, when there is a competition, you want to gain an edge any way you can. If you come across different, you stand out. If everybody's saying, yes, I'll talk to you at 10, and you know what happens. I don't know if this happens to you or not. Most of the time, people are late. But when you give an odd number, there are no excuses for being late, unless they just forgot. And then that's a different problem altogether. So whenever you have an important meeting, give a number, a time that they don't expect. That's totally uncommon, like 11:43. Like, why not 11:45? 11:43, they'll remember it, believe me, and they'll remember you. All right, they might think you're weird, but who cares? You know, I don't think it's weird. I think it's smart. Try that and let me know how it works. Thank you for watching.